Shalom, shalom, sisters. First and foremost, I have to give all honor and glory and praises to the Most High God of Israel. Call HALAYAM, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Lord willing, you are doing good in the spirit and staying uplifted and enduring. I pray, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying through the spirit. I've been meditating on this for a little minute now. I've been seeing a lot and hearing a lot about, just the state of the marriages in Israel. And, a lot of times we hear these crazy things that happen, and sometimes some crazy things don't even happen. It's just, regular marriage stuff. And sisters can fall out of love with their husbands, and the enemy, Satan, tries to tempt sisters with leaving their husband, thinking about leaving, stuff like that. So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. And just to preface this lesson with this, I am by no means talking about the certain situations that, need extreme counsel, like endangerment. Like, sisters, if you are getting abused, I for sure will not advise anyone to stay in a situation that harms their well-being. So this is strictly just, lower level common things that sisters may or may not be going through. So going into it, when you fall out of love with your partner. So as women, we get so fixated on our husbands that if they go off, whether it's, what's the name? I'm bad at thinking of examples, but something minute, not like, killing somebody or anything like that, but they might, dang, I cannot think of anything. But they go off, they break a commandment, we just gonna say that, or even just not living up to the expectations that we might put on them. Like, we expect them to, call us every time they make it somewhere and we're not with them. He forgot to let you know. He forgot to send you a text or call you and let you know something. Or, he might not be as affectionate as you thought that he would be. He was more affectionate in the beginning. He's not as affectionate now. And now you're contemplating leaving and being with somebody else, or even questioning the Most High, and wondering if you're really married or not. And that's the enemy. We have to recognize that, yes, we have feelings, we're the weaker vessel, we're emotional, but we also have to realize that Satan will use that to his advantage to get in our minds and get in our heads, to question the Most High, to contemplate, is he really my husband? I don't know. He wasn't like this before. I feel like I'm a different person, or he's a different person. Maybe this is just a fake. Whatever Satan tries to put in our minds. But we know that our desire is to our husbands. And this was put on us due to Eve's disobedience. To be, wanting to, look nice for our husbands. Wanting to please him and want him to love us so much. And, all this, we yearn for that. We yearn from that. We leave our parents and we cleave to our husbands, and they be, everything to us. We love them so much. And I'm gonna get this in Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So it's plain. So our desire is to our husbands, but we got to make sure also that we're not idolizing our husbands to the point where, we give our all, we pour our all into them, and they don't live up to those expectations. They do things that, maybe against the Most High sometimes. He's in this flesh too. He falls just like we fall. So we can't put him on that pedestal to where we think that he's just void of imperfections. We're all still striving in this thing, and you don't want to put him on that pedestal, and then he messes up, and then now it's like you questioning everything. Questioning the Most High. Dang, is this supposed to be my husband? Are we really married? Oh, maybe so-and-so can do this better. Oh, I seen her husband, she did that. No. The enemy will come for our marriages at one point or another. It's bound to happen. And once the quicker that we realize this, the quicker that we can be able to suit up spiritually. Because we must remember that Satan despises righteous marriages. And a lot of the times, especially if this is, your first marriage, your first interaction with the man on this level, whatever the case may be, your first love, whatever the case may be, being in love in itself is fleeting. Like that those feelings that you feel in the beginning, you're not always going to feel like that in your marriage. If only. If only we did. But that's just not, realistic it's not realistic. It's going to be times where you might argue. There might be times where y'all not seeing eye to eye on some certain things, whether it be small or big. But, we have to remember that even when we first come into the truth, you on fire, you fasting all the time, you reading multiple chapters a day, you watching all the videos, you taking notes, you doing this, you doing that, praying, all of it. We're like, oh my gosh, this is so new, and you love it, and it's that fire, that zeal you feel. Same thing with our husbands. You're not always gonna feel like you're in love with your husband. You may not even like him sometimes, but we commit ourselves to him, our husbands. We commit ourselves to them. And going back to the reference of being the truth, when we first come into the truth, we made a commitment to the Most High. Like the Most High showed us, this is the truth. We have to keep these laws, statutes, commandments. And now we got to stand true to that. We got to endure to the end. Making sure that, we're standing on business when it comes to the laws, statutes, commandments. Because we commit ourselves back to the Most High. And we left wickedness. We left that alone. We're committed to staying with the Most High until we die. It's the same thing with our husbands. We show the Most High that, we're committed to him through our husbands as well. So it's the same thing with our husbands. Once we commit ourselves to them, we lay down with them, and, we're saying, hey, we're married. We made that covenant before, the Most High, those vows. We agree to be spiritually and physically bound by them. So it's no, I'm just going to go step out on my marriage. No. We're spiritually and physically bound by them. We become one flesh. So we can't let some bad traits that may come out later on down the line about your husband, or, certain circumstances or situations that you're having trouble healing from, affect you to the point where you're willing to abandon an overall good man, the Most High willing. That is the case for us all. But again, to that point, we're literally made for man. We were literally made. You gotta think about it like this. We were literally made for our husbands. You gotta sit with that for a minute. Before we were even placed in our mother's wombs, the Most High already knew we were going to be with the men we are with now. We were literally made for them, just like Eve was made for Adam. We really have to sit in that and realize that the Most High created us to be a helpmeet to this specific man, whoever your husband may be. That specific man, you were created for him to be a helpmeet. We were created to be with our husbands till death do us part. And the Most High said, let no man pull apart what he had put together. So we got to remember that. This is Genesis 2 and verse 18. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. And I'm going to get Matthew 19. This is Matthew 19, and I'm going to start at verse 14. I'm going to 14, 4, Slahil. Okay. It reads, and he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh? Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore YAHAWAH hath joined together, let not man put asunder. So let not man put asunder. That includes ourselves. We cannot be putting asunder what the Most High has joined together. The Most High shows us a lot through our husbands. A lot. They teach us, they mold us. You know, they say that whoever you're married to is like putting a mirror up to yourself, because you see so many different sides of yourself, so many different sides of them, and the Most High has placed them in our lives to make us better women, to help us grow and mold us into the women that he wants us to be. So we have to truly renew our minds and see our husbands as our family for real. For real. Because once you leave your father and your mother, that's it. This, your husband, that's your new family. Of course, your mother and father are always going to be your family. You got to honor them for sure. But when you make that covenant with your husband, that's now your family for real. You, just like your parents will always be your parents no matter what, whether they move to a different country, whether they, divorce, whatever the case may be, Lord forbid, but, they will always be your parents, no matter what. Nobody can take that title away from them. And it should be like that times 10 with our husband. Because that's someone that we're one flesh with. We're not one flesh with our moms or our dads. We're one flesh with our husbands. So we have to renew our minds truly, because the world, they condition us to think, well, your husband ain't doing right, leave him. They could say leave him. Find you another man. This man do you right. Nobody wants to fight no more. The fight is gone. But really, we should be treating our husbands as if they're really our family, because they're our family. He might have his ways about him, but that's still my husband at the end of the day. That's still my husband. Just like folks be like, oh, well, that's just how my mama is. She just talk crazy sometimes. I still love her, though. That's my mama. I'm still going to do right by her and whatever. We have to switch our mindsets from, man, I'm going to just leave this man. He's not my husband. I don't claim him. To, we may be at odds, but, he's still my husband at the end of the day. Let me see how I can make this work, because he will always be my husband. And my marriage is worth the fight. Let me get 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Starting at verse 10. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband. This is a commandment. This is a commandment. We cannot be quick to leave our husbands. Verse 11, but and if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife. So the Most High, he doesn't delight in that. And marriages being broken up left and right. You got confusion in land living. It's really sad because we have no fight about ourselves, and it's like we a lot of times we don't count the cost, we don't prove people, it's all types of different situations. But ultimately, how can we say that we're new women in this walk if we are still quick to leave our partners like we did in the world? Quick to go find another man to comfort you, or somebody that'll do what you want them to do, or how you want it done, and whatever the case may be, or unrighteously confide in other men. Because a lot of the times, unfortunately, sisters, their husbands might be doing something they don't agree with. They may feel like it's off, or whatever the case may be, and they go and confide in other men. They go in and text another man. Oh, hey, my husband's doing this, and that. Like, it's a way you go about certain things. You don't want to open that door up unrighteously, and now you letting spirits in, and now you defiling your marriage. Most of them not dealing with that. They got to go about things the right way. And as we know, the scripture say, sit not at all with another man's wife. Sit not at all with another man is not your husband. At the wine, as it says. But this is... Sorry, I'm reading my notes. And feel free, by the way, I meant to say that at the beginning. Feel free to screenshot these notes if you want to. Or I can send these to sisters if they're interested in them. However y'all want to do it. But we must change the bad habits we have in relationships. Women in the world up and leave their husband. Block all communications with their husbands, etc. Follow the face of the earth. Husband don't know where you at. What you doing? Ain't talked to you in some days. Ain't seen the kids. Like, we got to move different. We got to think back to our foremothers. That's how they move. They didn't move like that. I'm going to get Romans 12:2. It reads, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahawah. Plain. So we got to prove what that good and acceptable, perfect will of Yahawah is. And the Most High, that's not the perfect will of God, to break apart something that the Most High has put together. So we have to keep this in mind. We have Ephesians 4:22. And it reads, that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. And that ye put on the new man, which after Yahawah is created in righteousness and true holiness. So we got to put off the former conversation. We got to put off the, man, this man ain't shit, and, man, I'm finna leave you. You threatening your husband, I'm finna leave you. It'd be the littlest fight. Man, I'm done with this. I don't need this. I got folks, you don't know who want me. Wicked stuff. We have to be renewed in the spirit of our minds. We have to. Because that old woman is what? Corrupt according to the deceitful lusts. The Satan will hop on you, making you think that this is something that is not. Make you think that, hey, it's really not that bad. I mean, you see what he doing. You could just leave, and then, no. You gotta rebuke Satan. You gotta cleave unto the Most High and pray that, that love is reignited. You gotta pray that the Most High has mercy on you, and pray for your husband. We gotta pray for our husbands more, y'all. We gotta pray for them more because they lead us. They are our hedge of protection. We have to pray for them. We have to. Let me get Romans chapter 7. Verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth. For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loosed from the law of her husband. So then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. But if her husband be dead, she is free from that law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man. So we got to keep this in mind. You are bound to your husband until he dies. If you go and give up on your marriage, leave your marriage, and go sleep, lay down, marry somebody else, you're an adulteress. And it's not a light thing. Some folks in the community are taking it very lightly, but the adultery, before YAHAWASHI came with the grace, you would get stoned to death. You and the man. It's not a game, and it's really deeper than what people think it is. It's like, oh, well, it's just, he wasn't doing right, so I left him. But think about this. We didn't do right by the Most High. We committed spiritual fornication with these other gods. Being in our flesh, being wicked. And these other religions, and all other manners of wickedness. So it's deep. It's really that deep to the Most High. So us being in this truth, the law has dominion over us. We know better. We know that the law is not done away with. And we know that in the law, we are not to depart from our husbands to be with somebody else while our husband is still living. That's adultery. And that was a sin unto death. The only reason why people aren't getting that swift judgment now is because of the grace and mercy that BAHASHAM has given us. All praise the Most High for that. So, ultimately, we want to try to rekindle that flame. You're falling out of love with your husband. You feeling like you're trying to give up on your marriage. Try to rekindle that flame. Let's not be so easy to give up on the bond that we have with our husbands. Do things that remind you of why you got married to him to begin with. Read the scripts together. Play around, joke around, flirt. Have date nights. Remember y'all's covenant to each other. Look back at pictures and videos of, when y'all first got together. We must be a woman of her word. Like they say, be a man of your word. Be a woman of your word. You were woman enough to marry this man. Be a woman enough to stay with this man. Let me get this. Because we can't just... We got to take marriage more seriously. People just, oh yeah, well, I just want a man. I just want a husband. I want somebody to take care of me. You got to be willing to... You got to count the cost. Willing to go through better or worse with these men. Okay, and I'm going to get... This is Ecclesiastes 5 and verse 4. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. The Most High basically saying, pay me what you owe me. You vow a vow to the Most High, which is what you do when you marry somebody. That's a vow. Saying y'all's vows, that's to the Most High. And you can't defer to pay it. So you not paying it is you leaving your husband. He left the socks on the ground. And now you're finna leave your husband. He has no pleasure in that. He has no pleasure in that. Verse 5, better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. It's better if you didn't even marry the man. If you weren't going to fulfill the marriage. You weren't going to fulfill the vow that you made to the Most High. You made a vow to the Most High saying, Lord, I love this man and I'm going to take care of this man. I'm going to reverence this man as long as I live. I'm going to be a helpmeet to this man. I'm going to serve this man and treat him as if I would treat YAHAWASHI, pursuant to the order. So look now, it would be better if you just didn't marry him than to make that vow saying you'll be with him to death do y'all part and end up leaving him. So I don't know, the same thing over and over again. But yeah, go phoneless for a night. Y'all put the phones down. Talk to each other. Be more intentional. Take a walk together and just talk. Whatever. And I also put this in here because I think a lot of the times social media, it can be a blessing and a curse, depending on how you use it. And a lot of the times, you see all the, YouTube couples and, couples in the world or even couples in the truth. They're all happy and in love and, oh, he does this, and that for her. And, oh, man. And then you over there like, oh, man, well, he doesn't ever buy me flowers. He only buys me flowers on our anniversary. Or, dang, well, this man, he buys his wife everything. She gets Amazon packages every day to the house. Or whatever it may be. But we can't covet, y'all. We can't covet because their relationship is just that. Theirs. And comparison is a thief of joy. And there's somebody somewhere praying for what you already have. So we got to keep this in mind. That Satan also will have you trying to covet what other people have. And the Lord's not dealing with that. This is Deuteronomy 5:21. Neither shalt thou desire thy neighbor's wife, neither shalt thou covet thy neighbor's house, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor's. So we can't desire what our neighbors have. We can't desire, oh man, that sister's husband. Man, if only I had him. If only my husband could do that. No. We're rebuking that. Y'all. Let me get Psalms 119. And I'm looking verse 36. Incline my heart unto thy testimonies and not to covetousness. So we got to be praying, y'all. We got to be praying that the Most High inclines our hearts to focus on him and what he's blessed us with, and being grateful and praising him and magnifying his name for what he's done in our lives. And I'm going to get Ephesians 5. And I'm going to get verse 3. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becoming saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. For this ye know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. So you're not having no inheritance in the kingdom of God. You just kiss that goodbye if you're a covetous person, which is ultimately idolatry. Because again, like I was saying earlier, you're putting these couples on a pedestal. You're putting man on a pedestal. And the only person that deserves to be on the pedestal is YAHAWASHI. So we don't want any of these things to be named among us: fornication, uncleanness, or covetousness, foolish talking, filthiness. Being with another man is filthy. You don't promise yourself to this man. That don't. So we're going to continue to give thanks to the Most High for where he has us, the good and the bad. And this is, I'm going to get Colossians 3 and 5. Another precept on covetousness. Colossians 3 and 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. For which things' sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience, in the which ye also walked sometime when ye lived in them. So we're putting these off now. We got to mortify these members. Truly, y'all. We got to put these old ways away and truly become new women in this thing. Because we don't want the wrath of YAHAWASHI to come upon us. And we really don't. So we got to repent today and put off that old woman and the wicked thoughts, thinking about other men and, just growing disdain for your husband. But we're not doing that. We're rebuking it. Wanting what somebody else has. No. We're going to be grateful for where the Most High has us, where he's taking us. And we got to redirect our awe and wants of what we see from others and give that unto the Most High. Got to redirect it. So Lord willing, that was helpful. I pray, Lord willing, it was edifying to y'all. I love y'all so very much. And again, want to give all honor and glory and praise to the Most High. Call Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, and Shalom. Also, y'all wanted to put this in here too. I just thought about this. Sirach 36 and 24. He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. And it makes me think of something my head said a while back. He said, just imagine you're looking at a building, one of those old, maybe one of those government buildings that be having them pillars and stuff like that. You know how Rome and Babylon do. Imagine one of those pillars just getting up and walking away. Imagine it. The whole building would collapse. All hell would break loose. So, just wanted to put that in there too. We can't just up and leave, y'all. We were, again, put there for a reason. Gotta uphold our men, love our men, flaws and all. But I pray, Lord willing, this was edifying again. And Shalom.